So good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be with you all. My name is Landon Rank. I'm the Associate Director here at SB ACT, and we are here for our monthly State Street Waterfront Downtown Regional Action Plan meeting, where we discuss the impacts of homelessness in the downtown region. We will be adding to this meeting. For those of you who've been here for a while, we're going to start doing check-ins and updates about the new navigation center that's opening in the downtown area as a part of this meeting. And we'll be inviting a lot of the neighbors from the surrounding neighborhood just so that they can participate and share any questions or concerns they have about the center opening as well, since that will be taking off later this month. So just know that that will be a part of our agenda moving forward. But just for today, I want to start with a couple of calendar announcements. Let me share my screen. I apologize. They changed the layout of Zoom seems like every time I log in. All right. So for our current meeting schedule, our next upcoming event will be on Monday, the 24th at 4 p.m. Will actually be the ribbon cutting here at the center at 621 Chapala Street. We really want to invite you all to join us as you're available. We'll have some snacks available. The mayor will be there with his big scissors, and it should be a really fun day of just celebrating together. Then we will have our regular monthly neighborhood walk. We'll be actually walking on the east side. We'll be meeting at the Rainbow Park statue, but on the corner of what is it? Puerto. I'm blanking on the name, but it's the corner where Tri-County Produce used to be, catty corner to that, on Milpas. And then our next State Street Waterfront Wrap meeting will be on the 11th of July. And as I said, we may have a few more participants then, since we'll begin inviting all those neighbors from right around the Daytime Navigation Center.
And park in the pickup place.
Sorry, Larry, were you asking a question? Right. So then I just wanted to share the quick update about the Daytime Navigation Center. So the center is slated to open at the end of this month. As I said, the ribbon cutting will be on the 24th. And we've shared this on this call before, but this will be a place for people to go during the day who are experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity, a place to receive services. We'll really be trying to encourage everybody who comes to access housing supports. We'll have a dedicated CityNet case manager here working full-time. We'll also have different service providers that will be coming in on a drop-in basis from Good Samaritan, from County Public Health, from County Behavioral Wellness, from the Santa Barbara Public Library, helping with employment assistance. So we'll have a whole lot of services here. So we really want to begin encouraging individuals to come check it out. So as I said, that will be not until the week of June 24th. But starting on the 25th, the hours will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are starting with fewer hours rather than more, simply because we want to be good neighbors and, kind of prove the concept to the neighborhood, show that it's going to be helpful and not a detriment. And then we'll be expanding hours from there. We will begin passing out flyers to our neighbors experiencing homelessness about this next week. We didn't want to start passing them out too early because we know word spreads sometimes, and we anticipate that people will likely start showing up to the door as soon as they see the flyer. So we will have those printed early next week, and I'll try and get those maybe to the CAT team just so you have some as well. But we'll be working with our partners from CityNet, Good Samaritan, New Beginnings to distribute those to just let people know that's opening. The other piece of news about this is that this means the Alameda Park Navigation Center on Thursday nights will be no more starting that week of the 24th, as well as the Tuesday morning commuter lot navigation center will be ending. So that will also be listed on the flyer. So all that information will be in one place for everyone. We will continue to have an east side navigation center at the rescue mission on Wednesday mornings, but that'll be listed on the flyer as well. So again, 10 to 2 starting the week of, starting on the 25th. Yeah, Mayor Rouse.
Yeah, and I just wanted to also talk about perimeter presence in terms of eyes on the prize on the outside. That's something we've told the neighbors we would do. And so I want to make sure we follow up on that. And then the second thing, when you mentioned the flyers or the handouts. So when neighbors have an issue, and one part of the things that Barbara and I have been telling them is that since we're going to be there, we have the personnel there, we could respond, a couple doors down or whatever, and interact with people they're having problems with. So I just want to kind of reinforce that whole thing too, because the neighbors are still not in their comfort zone. And it's my intention to put them there as quickly as we can.
Yeah, nope, completely agree. So we'll have a hotline set up next week, and we'll be printing cards that we can distribute to all of our neighbors to let them know, here's who you contact. So that'll mostly be that hotline will only be for the surrounding neighbors in kind of the 1 or 2 block radius. If people have general questions about the navigation center, they can use just our general SB Act phone number or email. But if it's like things related to this neighborhood specifically, that will be the number. So yeah, so we will have that next week, and we can start distributing that to the neighbors as well. Once we expand the hours, we'll actually print nice cards on like a plastic cardstock, so we can just keep handing those out on a continual basis. We didn't want to do that just yet because the hours are sort of interim hours until we prove the concept. So for now, we'll just have these flyers. Any other questions? We're excited to get to work with you all on this. I know several of you will be involved in this project in several ways. So I don't have all my photos together here, but I did just want to share briefly. We had a really nice time at the zoo last week. Rich Block, who's on the call today, was generous enough to set up a day for a lot of our homeless outreach providers to come join us at the zoo, just to do a little thank you. And let me pull this image forward. We were able to meet for a nice lunch on one of the verandas, and just share some words of thanks from the cities of Santa Barbara, Goleta, and the county of Santa Barbara. And then we were able to just give the homeless outreach providers from CityNet, PATH, Good Samaritan, New Beginnings, and a few others just a chance to walk around the zoo for a few hours. So huge thank you to Rich Block and the zoo for generously allowing us to come use the space. It was just a really nice time to be able to, as I'm sure many of our members of law enforcement know, your jobs and the jobs of homeless outreach providers are mostly negative interactions in a lot of ways. So it's nice to have a chance to just have some really positive time together. So. All right, so we are a small group today. So I don't know, we can start with just community questions. It looks like Larry jumped off the call, but are there any questions or concerns from community members? All right.
Well, from kind of the zoo vantage point, we really appreciate the support around Dwight Murphy Park, Sycamore Creek. It's pretty clear that those areas are receiving attention because the kind of the large gatherings seem to have dispersed pretty significantly at this point. So anyway, we appreciate that. It just keeps the area safer, and certainly we want to avoid people up in the railroad track area of Union Pacific. That's just not a safe situation for people. So anyway, thanks to everybody, both the police, city, all the service providers that are making sure that Dwight Murphy's in pretty good shape.
Thank you, Rich. All right, so why don't we do check-ins with some of our outreach staff with us today. So we'll start with Andrew, code enforcement.
Yeah, no major updates from our end. Thanks for the kind words, Rich. We have definitely seen some improvement there around Sycamore Creek, and really focusing on making it a routine check-in spot for us. Some individuals were able to, maybe not so much build a lot of rapport with, but we're familiar with them, and we're able to kind of, create a program to sort of address their issues and the problems for them. So otherwise, we continue to work along the waterfront areas by the Dolphin Fountain, the lagoon area where Mission Creek comes out. Has started to be pretty heavily impacted. It's primarily just one individual that we're kind of dealing with. But we also know that he is in the works towards some towards a housing situation. So just trying to manage that environment down there and lessen those impacts while we hopefully get some of those people in some good housing situations. So
Thank you, Andrew. And then let's go to our SPPD.
To share a quick update, Mayor Rouse mentioned the opening of, well, you did too, Landon, of the day center. And security at that location has been a big priority for the St. Mark Police Department, along with everybody at the center itself. And so just for the mayor and anybody else who's interested, we've met with both the private security company who will be doing patrols there throughout the evenings to set expectations and to communicate ways to report to the Santa Barbara Police Department to be more effective in reporting issues that they see there at night. And then Sergeant Beltran, Nate, myself, and our entire co-response and CAT team had a tour and meeting with SB Act and their team at the center to talk about best practices and how we can mitigate some of those neighborhood issues. So we're on it, and we've got a vested interest in the success of that center. And so the police department will continue to follow up there as needed to make sure that the neighborhood's not tremendously impacted and safe. Nate, I don't know if you have anything to add about other enforcement stuff or things waterfront or state related.
No, nothing really. I think Andrew pretty much covered it. We've been kind of like chasing each other's tails, I think, when it comes to a lot of those same issues. So that's about it.
I'll just add to that. So the private security firm Hillcrest Security, I know Barbara and SPPD have given some time to meet with them both already, but they've begun patrols. So they're doing their overnight patrols already this month. And they have also installed the cameras and alarm equipment already. So they have eyes on the property starting now. So they'll be able to kind of see how things change once the center's actually open.
All pass coded, every door is key carded. It is a secure facility now, which is great. It's great to see.
And along with that, can I ask, has there been enhanced lighting as well? Because we have that one alcove that enters in and whatnot, and I know I'm gonna be a big fan of pushing for more lighting as we get down State Street and whatnot as well, but once again, we won't be open at night, but we want to make sure there's not a pattern of hanging out at night. So lighting's a big deal, both back and front.
Yeah, that's a good question, Mayor Rouse. And actually, the company's understanding of crime prevention through environmental design was pretty spot on. And they invested quite a bit already in terms of lighting, signage, blocking access that might be used inappropriately in the evenings. They've done a pretty good job with it. We did a walkthrough with them to make sure that we were feeling comfortable with it as well. But increased lighting and flood lighting and signage is one of the things that they did enhance based upon some of our conversations.
The lights are already.
Yeah, walked through the protocols of if someone's loitering or trespassing on the property, at what level they engage versus calling PD to be able to respond. So that's been ironed out as well. Landon, how many lights and cameras did they add to the outside? And it's quite a few.
I know there's at least there's at least 3 cameras on the front of the building. One is specifically looking at the alcove, one is looking out toward the parking lot, and then one is hidden in the parking lot. And then there's, I think, 2 on the backside, one facing the Jody House direction and one facing the Sherwin-Williams. And then lighting, yeah, they added additional lighting on the front of the building. I need to check if it's all done. They might be adding more still.
Yeah. And I know I was late signing on. I apologize. I was in another meeting that ran over, but we met as an internal team this week, and there's going to be there has always been a consistent focus, but even more so at the base of Stearns Wharf, we have a number of folks that frequent that area with a lot of belongings and then attract additional people. So especially with the summer months and tourists and visitors and local residents all in the area, we want to make sure that we're keeping that as safe as possible. So there will be a extra focus from code enforcement and PD and Harbor Patrol in that region, Parks and Rec as well.
All right. I see Larry is just rejoining the call, so let's give him a second to rejoin. We don't have our homeless outreach staff with us today. I know at least with New Beginnings, they are busily trying to hire because of their increased contracts and through the state funding that they just received for the Safe Parking Program. So that's part of the reason why they're a little hard to get a hold of right now for these kind of meetings, but they'll soon have some new staff.
And I think the mayor may have been involved in some of these communications, and Councilmember Jordan was, but PD and the CityNet team have been focused on the 900 block of State and 21 East Cannon Bernardino. So that is emerged, it's always kind of ebbs and flows as a hotspot. But we're extra focused on that area just because of impacts that are being experienced by the businesses. And then Landon, Charlie and I just spoke about working a bit more with realtors downtown, as we work to bring downtown back to the lively and vibrant and safe place that we want it to be. And so I'm going to be setting up a meeting with us and Hayes and Radies to kind of talk through how we can really help them in showing properties, helping tenants, transition when businesses open, that we're focusing on certain areas, again, just for outreach and keeping folks at the Daytime Navigation Center to seek support and services during the day and getting the help that they need. And then, making sure that they're not impacting the businesses in the downtown corridor as much as they have. So we'll provide an update at the next meeting on that.
Is there anything else while we're all together? Any other community questions or concerns, or just general announcements? All right. Well, it'll be a short meeting today. We encourage you, if you're able, join us for the ribbon cutting on the 24th at 4 p.m.
Yay, we're so excited.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Or the East Side Neighborhood Walk on July 1st at 1 p.m. But otherwise, we'll see you all at this time next month. Oh, go ahead, Rich.
I just had a quick question. I don't know if I was hallucinating at the time or not, but was there a request for things like puzzles and other things like that for the navigation center, or am I confusing that with some other event that I dial into?
It may be something else. We were originally looking for furniture, but now I think we're pretty set. But I'll check with my team because there may be some
I
other
don't need
things.
a few games and puzzles though, and I mean, that seems like, well, people are charging their phones. It gives them something to do. That could be cool.
I was just wondering about it. But the people that organize the open house, that whole idea of basically adopting the furniture as you visited each of the rooms was absolutely brilliant. And the people I was circulating with, I don't think a single person didn't sign up for a rug or a chair or everybody signed up for furniture. So that was absolutely brilliant, and kudos to whoever schemed that up. That was a great idea. But
That's great.
I'll put the puzzles in the back of my mind, and if there's a way to deliver those, I have a shelf full that my wife completed and then disassembled. I think they're just collecting dust at this moment.
That's great. Okay.
I will say, having gone to the center now weekly for the past couple of months for our meetings with SB Act, walking in today, their conference, it's beautiful. The conference room is like the prettiest conference room I've seen in a long time. So the space is just really coming together, and I think it's really exceeding my personal expectations, and I think the majority of folks' expectations. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Well, yeah, I'm not, I'm not allowed to name donors specifically, so I'll just say thank you to those of you on this call who donated, of which there are more than one of you, so thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. See you
Thank
in a few
you.
weeks.